body positivity panel. We're really excited. There's such a good turnout, especially on Sunday. So thanks for making time out of your day to come see us. We're going to start going down the line and introduce everybody, talk a little bit about, just, you don't have to go like super into detail. Oh, you want to start at this end?
Yes.
We wanted to have like as many different experiences and body types that we could to show you that, we all feel, nervous and struggle with our body image. It doesn't have to be a certain body type to feel like those feelings are valid. So
and I was gonna say, in a world of photo editing and like the other week, I actually had to teach my fourth graders about photo editing and advertisements and how that works and why, everybody just is gonna feel insecure about their bodies because look at what we get advertised all the time. So, and it's just not real.
Thanks, America.
you want to start, Mercedes, you want to start introduction?
Sure. I'm Mercedes, aka VFire Cosplay, Pannon's co-host for the podcast, and I'm here. I've been cosplaying for over 10 years now, and super enjoy it. It's been my release of figuring out who I am and liking myself and all sorts of everything around that. And also, really ridiculously addicting hobby, so.
I'm David. I am the editor for Cosplay Stitch and Seam with Mercedes and Pannon. I also have two other podcasts, Comic Trades Monthly and Dungeons and Chill. I've been cosplaying off and on again. It's like a bad religion kind of thing, kind of in and out. For probably 3-4 years now. I kind of count it more as the number of costumes that I have more than the number of years. And so far the number is 3.
Yay!
3 as of this weekend. And I just love the community and the support. And then the only reason that I kind of stick around is because I get to see all of the fantastic people supporting everybody else. So that's kind of why I'm here.
Thanks. My name's Pannon. I've been cosplaying for about 20 years. Body positivity is important to me because when I was getting into cosplay, there really just wasn't anyone my shape. I'd go to conventions and I just didn't see anybody my size cosplaying. You kind of get, there's a little bit of a stigma with that, like no matter what you do. And luckily I had like some supportive friends who still wanted me in their cosplay groups and invited me to come do things. And it's always an uphill battle. Thank you. One of the hardest was I tried out several years for World Cosplay Summit, and not just among the people who watched us perform, but among like some of the way back then staff, some of like the people who would follow and watch things. They were like, why do you guys keep trying? You're plus size, they're never going to pick you. And, World Cosplay Summit, we were Team 2014. So I felt like that was a really big milestone for, accepting that it doesn't matter what size you are, you can cosplay, and you can be awesome at cosplay. So, yeah. Sorry, I went a little long.
No, it's good. You got good stuff to say. So I'm Kame. I have really bad contacts in, so I keep doing this really dumb smile because I will focus and be like, friend! I'll be recognizing people in the crowd. So that's why I've just been grinning randomly because I'm realizing that I see people I know and will know by the end of this. So I'm Kame. I think I need to amend the number of years I've been cosplaying because I say 10 years, but Pannon's number went up. And I've been cosplaying with Pannon for a long time, so that means my number probably went up, and I just haven't counted it. But for a long time, so at least 10 years. And body positivity in cosplay is one of the things I'm super passionate about, so I'm really glad I got invited back. I got to do an episode on Stitch and Seam about it, and I'm one of those people who realizes things as I talk, so I left the episode feeling good, I gave myself some good advice.
I am wise, aren't I?
So I get to come back and repeat it and hopefully have some more realizations. But part of the reason that it's really important to me is one of the things that I have the hardest time with is people very aggressively say, love yourself, like it's easy. And it's not. It's not that easy. And so it's not with cosplay, one of my biggest realizations has not been love yourself, it's been do it anyway. And then you'll find out that there's some stuff that you love about yourself, or that wasn't a big deal, or you won't regret doing it. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, I wore a costume last night where I spent the whole time going, I'm going to hate this. I'm gonna hate this cosplay because it's sleeveless. Why did I do this to myself? And then I was like walking around it and I was like, I love this cosplay. I'm glad I forced myself to do that. So, so yeah, that's part of the, yeah, thank you, Mercedes. Fixing things. But no, so like, I think that's the most important thing about sharing experiences, is that a lot of times you feel lesser when people talk about body positivity because you can't make yourself love your body. Everyone else seems to like be able to do that, and that's not true. That's just like a lot of times the people who are like, I'm posting this selfie today and I feel great. A lot of times they don't, but they're doing it because if you do it, eventually other people will feel brave enough to do it too, and it will change the idea of what it means to exist in your skin. So that's part of the reason that I like talking about it in cosplay specifically, because it gives those of us who might not want to post on Instagram every day a selfie, like something to force ourselves to get out there and do something that would challenge that and learn more about what it means to love our bodies and love ourselves. So I went longer, so don't feel bad. Oh, I also go by Turtle Bunny's cosplay.
I'm Kimi. I also go by Unroyalty Cosplay.
She's married to me.
Yeah, this is my wife. Or Unroyal Photography. And I am a potato that has been
No, you guys are boss photographers and boss cosplayers.
Well, I'm a potato who likes to cosplay.
We're a potato with many facets, like someone has carved this potato to look like a diamond.
But I'm really passionate about body positivity because it's, I've been cosplaying about 10 years. I'm coming from a place, I'm Asian, and there's a lot of kind of stigmas in Asian culture about like how you look and how you present yourself. And, I've struggled a lot with that over the years, but I have kind of gotten to a place where I'm comfortable despite all of that. And I like to talk about that. I like to kind of help others who may not be as fortunate in that situation or in different situations, kind of figure things out. And like my wife, I figure it out as I say it, and it's good for me, and hopefully it's good for everyone else, and I hope that at the end of this panel we can all have some good feelings going on.
Well, not to piggyback on your thing, but one of the big things with Kimi and I as well is we spent a lot of years not doing things we wanted to do and figured out we wish we'd done them anyway. So the other big reason that we together want to talk to people about this is we want to keep people from doing that.
Yeah.
Like, don't waste years of your life not trying new things. So that's what Kimi and I were like, we're gonna be very passionate about talking about this, so hopefully people will not do what we did and not do all of the things that we wish we'd done.
Oh, totally. Like I'm gonna piggyback on your piggyback.
Go for it. It's like the wave. We went this way, and now we're gonna go this way.
Because I really loved what you said about like it's not, people will say love yourself, and it's not like something that you can just flip a switch and you suddenly love yourself, or that you
it's not that easy.
repeat it enough times that you wake up and every day are just like, oh, I love me so much. I mean, if you can, awesome, great. For me, I definitely have days that are like, oh, I feel really good, and then more than I have of good days, I have days where I'm look in the mirror and I just and I struggle. This weekend, one of my goal cosplays was to do Jolene from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and thank you. And she was a really important goal to me because I've been trying to embrace and love my body more, and part of that is I hate my tummy. I usually try to cover up my tummy. I use a lot of shapewear. I use corsets and things to make me feel more comfortable about my tummy when I cosplay. And I wanted to focus on doing costumes that are like, hey, you have a tummy. Everybody has a tummy. You should love your tummy. So I did Breath of the Wild Link in his Gerudo outfit, so it's a tummy outfit. And then I did Jolene yesterday. And, it wasn't actually all the way done, but I was like, it's so important to me to do this cosplay. And I actually had to, talk myself up into it. Like, I tried it on the night before, and I was like, no, I'm going to wear my backup cosplay. I have something else I brought. And luckily I had a lot of supportive friends in my hotel room that were like, no, you love this character, you want to do this character, be Jolene. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And the reaction, everyone was so nice, everyone was really positive. There was no one going around saying, you know, oh, you're fat Jolene, or oh, you're this Jolene, or oh, you shouldn't be doing that. All the responses I heard were, you make an awesome Jolene, I love your Jolene, that looks really cool. And it was just such an uplifting experience for me, and I hope it was for other people as well, to see that there are plus size people who can do, you don't have to be, you know, what society tells us is a sexy body to do a sexy cosplay. Like, do it because you love the character.
And
Sorry, I went really long.
No, and I think the big thing about that too is there's probably somebody who saw you wearing that who never thought they would cosplay Jolene, and now they feel like they can. And so that's a big thing. It's like, A, if you had fun, that's a plus, but B, the people who got to see you in that are you know, gonna feel really good later about what they can do and what, honestly, I think one of the biggest things, and you know, apparently this is just, we're not gonna ever let the wave get over here.
That's fine.
Honestly, one of the biggest things that I have most recently noticed is there are a lot of people who are like, yeah, no, this is a sexy character and I don't look sexy. Sexy is relative. Mm-hmm. You go to different continents and it means different things. And so you may not...
Even in one continent, to different people, sexy is different.
People like think different things are sexy or cool or like attractive or beautiful. And so you may be like, I don't look like this character, but someone's going to be like, well, you make a beautiful version of that character. That's what cosplay is. If they wanted to look at the character, they'd just go to the source. That's not what cosplay's for. They got the source. They already have that. They like want to see the version that you bring to it. What do you personally bring to it? Yeah. So they didn't want to just see Jolene. They got to see Pannon's Jolene, and that everything Pannon brought to that, both in shape and craft and everything. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing, I guess.
So I have a few questions that I did want to like go across our panel and make sure everyone gets a chance to answer. And the first one is, how has cosplay helped you accept and love your body more? Does anybody want to go first?
It was my first one.
Yeah.
Cosplay was my first time wearing a bikini.
Oh yeah.
Yay!
Shikini.
Chikini, yes, it was chic. I designed a chic bikini from Legend of Zelda, and I had a bunch of leftover chainmail spandex from the cosplay, and I was like, I'm gonna make a bikini out of this. And then I was like, I'm gonna wear a bikini. Because I'd never done that before. And you know, as we've heard on previous episodes and whatnot, bikinis dry faster than regular swimsuits, and I've been cheated my whole childhood. I like going and getting wet, but also like, it just sucks to just be like, you get out of the pool and you're just like, now I'm wet. And it just takes forever to get dry. And so, anyways, bikinis are magical. Anyways, it took me forever to like my body, and between my husband and cosplay, like getting to that point where it's like, okay, I actually do like my body. And I mean, there's still points where it's like, I hate this, I hate that, but it's like, I'll work around it. Or, you know, I really like Pannon and like the whole like, I don't like my tummy, so I'm gonna do tummy cosplays to help me like it better and get to that point. I like that. I hate my hips. I should maybe try and find something to do with my hips. I always find ways to cover them up, even like with my shikini. I wore like longish shorts for it because I don't like showing off. There's like some stretch marks and things going on, and I think it looks weird. And
We all have stretch marks.
So many.
yeah,
Being human is the weird
what?
part.
I know, right? Being human's so weird. Yes, we're all potatoes. We're all beautiful potatoes. I was gonna say, if I have a spirit animal, it's gonna be a big burly man.
Yeah.
Can confirm.
Yes, I'm in multiple D&D groups with these two over
campaigns,
here.
both very, very big burly men.
Yes. And I am not that, but I like cosplaying guys, and I have come to accept my body, as well as be like, I can be male and female, I can do what I want in cosplay, and it's fun. I love that the community is so accepting of it. Like I don't care what pronouns people use with me. You know, it's just like whatever you see me as. If you use as a pronoun that you think I am, that's fine. But like it just like thrills me when someone does call me he when I'm in a guy cosplay, and I'm like, oh, thanks. And it feels good. It just feels good, and I love that cosplay has made that kind of community around this sort of thing where it's like whatever you are, and you can be that, and you don't have to hate yourself. Like growing up, I'm on the smaller side, but I was the biggest of my family, but the smallest of my friends, and so I never felt like I could complain about anything, because like my family, there were different people, not all of them, but like different people in my family that would make fun of me and call me fat, but I couldn't complain about that to my friends because they were all bigger than me, and so it was just like this hard kind of in between that I was in, and just felt like I just needed to shut up and just keep my problems to myself. Coming into cosplay and meeting all the people that I've met, sorry, I don't get emotional. I'm really glad that I am in this community and have met so many people that are like, they like me for me, they don't care what I look like, they don't care what any of that matters. It's just, let's just make cool stuff and celebrate these characters that we love, and I've super enjoyed that, so thank you guys. Sorry. Yeah. Thanks.
It's the first hug.
There will be.
There will be many. Thank you. So I do want to address one of the things is that I and DJ, who has been here the whole time,
Sorry.
as the male people on the panel, I identify as male. I didn't mean to project.
No, I do identify as male, so yes.
The world is catered towards us. Me more so as a semi-straight dude versus DJ, who is just flamboyantly awesome. They don't cater to that level of awesome. So I get that, like, there is a lot that I really shouldn't be the one to say a lot of things in the sense of like, oh yeah, the world's given to me on a silver platter. What do I have to complain about? But at the same time, like, I'm 117 pounds soaking wet. That's not a lot. I have so many problems with joints and muscles and pains that I can't be that person at the gym constantly. And when I finally kind of accepted my body in cosplay is when I did the big burly man as my D&D character. And I had this ripped shirt, and I got to show off this fantastically flat chest that has no muscle definition whatsoever. And I was able to walk out and just kind of look at myself and go, man, I feel tough. Didn't look tough. Sure didn't look tough, but I felt it. And like, it's on a bell curve, right? Like, there's gonna be days where you look at yourself and you're like, I feel great. Just last night, I looked at the mirror and I went, no. No. Oh, no. And my wife goes, what? I was like, I'm just not feeling it today. My wife goes, does that matter? Because I feel it.
Aww. You're so cool.
But yeah, my wife is like the best. And yeah, you're going to have days where you're not feeling it, where you don't feel like, am I really representing this character as well as I want to be? And it doesn't matter, because I get to represent the character because I love it. So, yeah.
So DJ had a couple other things, so he was coming in a bit late. So go ahead and introduce yourself. And our first question we wanted to talk about is, how has cosplay helped you feel better about your body?
Oh, okay. Well, hello. I'm DJ. Nice to meet you guys. I probably met most of you around the con anyway. Gosh, like, I mean, when I first started doing it, I basically started cosplay because I didn't really have a lot of friends. This was back in 2006. I didn't have a lot of friends. And I saw a lot of people dressing up, and I thought it'd be cool. And I did Kakashi first, because basically he has a mask, and anyone can do it pretty much, because you only see the eye, you don't see anything else. So I was like, this will be a good one for me. And I would see characters, and like I think we did Kyo and Kagura from Fruits Basket way back when, and I did that when we got the pictures back, and I was kind of like, I am not bishy. Like, this doesn't. I don't really feel like I looked very good in this costume. And so I actually went a little obsessive with the gym. I also have OCD and anxiety and some other things, but I got a little obsessed with the gym, and I ended up going about 4 times a week into exhaustion, and I pushed myself too hard, and I ended up with 2 herniated discs in my lumbar region. I still have sciatica in my left leg, and after that happened, I
was real worried about you.
Yeah, it was a really hard time for me. I became very depressed because I couldn't work out anymore, and I gained a bunch of weight back. And you get in your head a lot, and like when you get obsessed in that fitness kind of thing, even just gaining a little bit of weight is like, oh my God, what's happening? I'm failing, and you get down on yourself. And I got into pretty deep depression after I couldn't work out as much anymore. And then I'd go back and I'd work out for a couple months after my surgery, and then I would push it too far, and I'd end up gaining it all back. And it was a cycle for a long time until I broke down with a pretty bad anxiety episode about a couple years ago. But I mean, in that process, and I gained about 40 or 50 pounds, and I wore my costumes. Other costumes didn't fit me. I wore other ones, and I experienced my first. You post your picture online, and you get haters and bashers. Like I got called Man Boob Freddy once. I did Freddy Krueger, and I said I was doing Captain America in the Pride Parade once, and someone in Brazil said I had married belly, I guess, because I was with my Tony Stark, and my belly was sticking out of my Captain America. So that became a very popular post, so that was fun. Me and my partner joke about it actually a lot now with each other. But I mean, the thing that I learned, and the reason why I guess I did this there's my partner right there. That's Turtle. The thing I really learned that was the hardest for me to learn, I ended up running this kind of panel at a con back in July because I started going to therapy. And yes, I knew I had a problem. I knew I had issues. And to be honest, I feel like everybody needs therapy. Like, as much as you need a doctor's visit, your mental health is just as important as your physical health. With my therapist, I really learned to love myself. And she, I was talking to her over the course of a couple weeks. She was like, you really, it doesn't seem like you like yourself very much. And I was like, well, I mean, yeah, I do. I think I'm all right. And she's like, that's what I'm saying. You're supposed to be like, I'm awesome. You're supposed to be the one that supports yourself the most. And I was like, well, it's hard for me. Like, I avoid mirrors. I never like looking in mirrors. Even when I'm brushing my teeth, I'll kind of turn around and spit it out, And it's like what he was saying with his partner. Like, I mean, my partner's like, you're beautiful, and he'll tell me I'm attractive, I'm good looking, he loves me, no matter what I look like, and that really helps a lot sometimes. Sometimes you do have days where, even if you've had training and therapy and everything else, you're gonna have days where you're just like, I don't like the way I look today. And having a support system and people around you that bring you up like that really does help. But I think you're your own worst critic. out of anybody. Like you'll be looking in the mirror, and and especially with cosplay, you'll be like have like one loose thread and be like, oh god, this costume is trash, and I look terrible, and everyone's like, you look fantastic. Look at all this detailing you did, and you're like, no, there's a thread. This thread is loose. It's awful.
Everyone sees this pop seam.
Exactly. And Jared will do that too. Like he's like, no, I look awful. I'm like, your hair is fine, boo. He's like, no, it's bad. Okay, like I'm like, you're beautiful too. But I mean, I'm like rambling and getting off topic. Cosplay really helped me in the sense that I met people like me that were like all of you. Like we're kind of the outcasts, the nerds, the people in high school that. Like I love our kind of people, to be honest. Like it's so freeing to just be open and caring about each other, and to be in this kind of community where you can dress up as whoever you want, and it's not weird. You don't have to fear coming in. And I mean, there's the few elitists and people who.
Every group has that.
Yeah, that are just doing it to look awesome. But I mean, for the most part, I just love being a clown. To be honest, I dress up in crap, and I'm like, hey, look at me. Like I was at the rave in Freddy last night. Like, hey guys, what's up? I'm in your dreams. What? It's the rave of nightmares. Yeah. So I mean, and that's the most fun in cosplay for me. So I mean, if you can learn to like love yourself, and sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. That's another thing my therapist told me is, you look in the mirror, and even if you don't think you look good today, you say 3 good things about yourself in the mirror. Like, okay, well, I'm having a bad day, but I think my hair looks good, and I think my eyes are beautiful, and I like my clothes today, so that's fine, and I think that really helps. But yeah. I guess that's what I have to say.
So I made the mistake today of scheduling a photo shoot right after this panel. And I'm already like smudging all of my eyeliner. So we did the same panel at Nandescon about a month ago, and I feel like it's so much harder here at Banzai because this is my home convention, and I feel like there's like I'm gonna talk slow and with a wiggly voice because I have to get through this. I feel like it's a lot more honest, a lot more raw, because these are all friends. These are all people who have supported me in this journey.
This is our home con.
It is. Don't do that. I'm going to cry. Thank you. So the question was, how does cosplay help us love our body more, love ourselves more? And it's like Kame said, it's an everyday struggle. It's something that is going to have its ups and downs. When I started, I had very low self-esteem, and while it's something that I still struggle with a lot, it's something that when I'm in cosplay, that's when I feel pretty, I feel manly, I feel handsome, I feel like a princess. And those were not feelings that I really got to have growing up. I won't say that like my family was intentionally hurtful, but there were a lot of things like it was hard not to be compared to my siblings. My sister was a model for a long time and very small, and I am not. And it was difficult every time we'd go clothes shopping, every time we'd go out somewhere. It was, people didn't think we were related. And I mentioned this in NDK, but it wasn't until I challenged myself. I really wanted to feel pretty. I wanted to do a princess. And I was like, the princessiest princess is Princess Serenity from Sailor Moon. She has always been my inspiration, always been a person that I tried to emulate, to care about friends. And I was like, I want to do her white big princess dress. That means a lot to me. And it wasn't until I actually got photos back from these lovely people that like I felt really good when I wore the dress. I felt like pretty and stuff, but I didn't actually hear it from people around me until I got these photos back, and I was like, I can look pretty. I can be whatever I want to be. And that's what, thank you. And that's what cosplay has helped me a lot with, is that I just need to carry that into my day-to-day. You don't have to put on a costume to feel pretty about yourself. You don't have to put on a costume to feel handsome and good. It's something that you carry inside you, and just keep hold of that confidence. And you won't feel like that every day. Some days will definitely be hard, but you'll get through it. And thank you. Sorry, I'm like a sobbing mess. But clearly, like, I noticed I'm the only single Pringle here on the panel, but clearly I have an amazing support system who have helped me grow and become a much more confident person. And like I said, even today, I still feel like I'm struggling. I still feel like, have days where I feel like I'm not good enough, have days where I feel horrible and ugly, but you know, those days pass, and you're going to be stronger for it. You're going to be more confident for it. So, sorry.
So before this started, I was like, man, I'm going to be like the spot of this panel because I'm not going to be crying. And then Pannon's talking, and I'm just like, oh no, here we go. Yeah. Okay.
So much for that photo shoot.
That's okay. Sweet Tofu kind of looks like he smudged his eyeliner.
I know I'm supposed to have red eyes, right?
So originally this was not going to have that much emotion tied into it, but I'm gonna cry. It's gonna
Can you
happen.
do it?
So let's see if I can control when. So the question was, what part of cosplay how has cosplay
How has
helped you?
cosplay helped you feel better?
So I'm gonna be straight up honest, and I know that there are people out there who this might resonate with a little bit more, I don't at all. There is not a single part of my body that I like. And that's just something I'm still struggling with. And actually, I remember the thing that was gonna make me cry is I told my wife the other day we were gonna compete in a skit, and I said, I feel like the skit would be so much better with someone who wasn't so ugly. And so she got really mad at me.
I'm mad at you too.
She's like, I married you. But so it's something that, like, and I've been competing for a really long time, and so it was that thing where it kind of surprised me. I was like, because we have this skit and we're so excited about it, and I was just like, this is so good. But every time I was imagining the skit, I had to put somebody who wasn't me in my spot, because I couldn't get excited about it with me there. So I haven't worked on that yet. I don't have the story where I tie that up and it feels better yet, but I will keep you posted on Cosplay Stitch and Scene when I figure that out. But because I don't necessarily like anything about how I look, I do have a hill I like to die on about that. It is perceived flaws. Anyone who was at the panel last year or listened to the podcast episode, something that's so important is the idea of perceived flaws. When you're like, I don't feel good about my stomach, or I don't feel good about my eyes, or for me, I have a ring around my neck that I don't like, so I'm wearing this bandana to hide it. It's a perceived flaw. You think it's a flaw. Don't call it a flaw, because it's not. It's what you perceive as a flaw. But there is a good chance that no one has any idea it exists. And so I think in order to, you kind of have to tear down what you use to grade people and things as beautiful, and rebuild it from its foundations in order to start loving yourself. And the biggest thing is the concept of what is pretty, what is acceptable, what is a flaw. And so whenever I hear somebody be like, oh, well, I like to hide this because I don't like it, that's fair, and that's something you need to do to be confident and start cosplaying, or do what you need to do to get through your life, and that's fine. But it is not a flaw. It is part of who you are, and that is something that shouldn't change and will never change. So if you, like I have, like I said, I have the ring around my neck, or I have these weird brown flecks in my eyes that nobody else notices, but it's on the whites of my eyes.
We were married like 2 years, and she was like, "Don't you like?"
And it's these things.
And
where
I was
it's
like, "I've never noticed those."
this was so glaring and obvious to me that I was sure that the first time people met me, and they would be like, "Oh yeah, do you know Kame? She's the one with the ring around her neck and like the weird black spots in her eyes." No, like nobody perceives that, and so you just need to realize you're a package made by biology. You will change, things will stretch, you will get birthmarks, you will get stretch marks, you will get scars, and that is part of the story of who you are. You shouldn't want to hide or change that. You shouldn't decide, well, I'm going to figure out a way to do this in a way that I have to hide the stuff I don't like. Because if it peaks out, then you're still going to feel upset about it. When really what I want people to do is be like, hey, I'm that cosplayer with the ring around her neck, so you'll be able to find me later in pictures. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be who you are. It's never gonna change. Your body's always going to be your body. Those things that make it unique are always going to be there. So they're not flaws, they're just you. And I think that's the biggest thing that cosplaying has taught me, is you're not going to get rid of those things you don't like, no matter how hard you try. But that's okay, because you're the only one who doesn't like them. No one else notices them. So yeah.
I've been essentially trapped in a crafting room with Kame for the past month or so as we've been working on things together, and like, what ring? I've seen you not all decked out at all, and I swear I've never noticed.
Well, and like this reminds me, this is a good thing. So the ring around my neck is actually a symptom of I have, what is it called?
Insulin resistance.
I have insulin resistance that's tied into a syndrome called PCOS. And so it's this thing where okay, this is gonna be a good story. I wasn't even intending on telling this. Okay. I walked into a doctor's office, and normally I wear a wig, like in my everyday life. I do stuff to hide this ring around my neck. And I was going to get ADD medicine, which I'm not on right now. You can tell. And I walked in, and she looked me up and down, and she said, "What are you here for?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm here for ADD and anxiety medicine." And she was like, "Okay, well, I think we need to do some blood tests on you, because I think you have this thing." And then it was true. I had this. If I had been on medicine for these things 10 years ago, the ring wouldn't be that bad. And there were a lot of other health things that wouldn't be that bad. And so part of me is like, if I hadn't been partially taught by my mom to be embarrassed and by other people, straight up a doctor would have seen it and been able to see that it was a symptom of something health-wise that could have helped me. So it's one of those things where it's like, there's a lot of reasons why you shouldn't be embarrassed to show who you are. Straight up medically, like someone might be able to say, hey, did you know there's a way you can fix that or feel better? That's something good. Or even just once you're comfortable with it, you feel comfortable working on it. You know what I mean? Like it's like, this is not a good example because my car is a piece of junk, but it's like if you just put primer and paint on your car and just let it slowly rust and rot from the inside, but you like how it looks, that's not gonna help you. That's gonna end up much worse. So I guess what I'm saying is you wanna go in and actually make sure that your bones and the philosophies that you're building all this positivity on are solid. Because guess what? We all age. So if you start liking how you look at 30, you're gonna have to relearn how to like how you look at 40 and 50 and 60. And if you have the foundations there, it won't be hard to embrace that. I'm glad that made enough sense for people to clap.
My old people goals, we'll see if I can actually do this because I've got stupid metabolism, but my old people goals is I want to be the fat granny. I want to cook so many cookies. I love like fat old ladies. I love them. They're so cute. So that's my goal.
We should all be so lucky. So for me, how cosplay has kind of helped me love who I am. It's twofold. So the first thing is I met my wife through cosplay.
We did.
And as so many people on the panel have said, like having a support network, having that person who you turn to and you're like, I feel like so ugly. I am the ugliest potato, and have her go like, you're a pretty cute potato, you know? And, like, just having that is been so helpful, and more than just like in a romantic relationship, but with friends. So many of my close friends I've met through cosplay, and I know I could go to any of them and say like, I feel gross, I look like hot garbage, and they'll say, no, you know, you're wonderful, here are some things about you that I think are beautiful. So for that,
Like garbage of a perfectly good temperature.
Ice
Cold garbage.
cold garbage, you know, that's me, that's me.
You look like perfectly.
I think that's going to be my new
cured
cosplay name.
compost.
Ice cold garbage.
Ribbon for next to you. Ice cold garbage.
Lukewarm?
Lukewarm, yeah,
Lukewarm
you know,
garbage.
not unpleasant, but not like
I'm
too.
feeling like room temp garbage that hasn't been sitting out long enough to smell bad.
Yeah.
They're
So
good.
that's
Oh my gosh,
We're all recyclables, thank you.
we hit one question.
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, so that's the thing for me is cosplay has given me a good support network, and even on days when I'm still struggling with that, I'm getting through it. Like cosplay has just given me these friends and these family and that have helped me work through it. So that I'll just.
There was one other thing I wanted to say about so, and I touched on this in the body positivity panel I did back in July. You're your own worst critic, but of course you're gonna have people that are gonna come for you. No matter what, always. There's gonna be somebody who just does not like the way you look. And what I've seen with that, the people that comment nasty things in your photos or go out of their way to say, oh well, are you supposed to be this person, or you know those kind of, yeah, exactly, those snidey comments, like those people, and I learned this through my therapy class too, those people are the ones who have the worst self-esteem, because they want to come for you because putting someone down makes you feel better. When you tease somebody, when you point out a flaw, when you're like, well, at least I'm not this that society thinks is bad, then, and you try to put someone down, it's like, I feel better about myself because I'm not you, or you know, whatever else. And you have to realize that is never your problem. You can be like, well, that's your opinion, I guess. I don't care what you think, you know. And they want to get a rise out of you. They want you to feel sad. They want you to feel crappy. They want you to be like, well, now I don't feel good about myself, because they're jealous and they don't feel good about themselves. So when you experience that, kind of take yourself out of that moment of emotion where it's bringing you down and making you feel crappy, and think, God, I really feel bad for this person. You know, they have to go out of their way to say something bad about me because I think I'm cool. You know, I like the way I look, and that's that. You know, like I have friends and my support system that think I look cool. I'm having a good time. So, yeah, exactly. And
on that note, do you mind if I chime in?
Yeah.
I wanted to say that, you know, there are so many haters out there, you're right. People that are going to drag you down, people that are jealous, people that wish they had the, you know, courage to dress up and have fun the way you do. I think the best thing that we can do as people who are aware, people who have suffered through a lot of those feelings and hardships, is to find others and compliment them, build them up, build up your friends, build up someone you just saw at con and appreciate their costume. You have no idea how much like a random comment can just brighten somebody's day. Like at our panel at NDK, like I was feeling kind of like squidgy and not my best, and I had someone come up after and they were like, "You are the sexiest prompto I've ever seen," and I was like, that made my day. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
Pannon, you are.
So, you know, it might be something like it's easy to say something nice, like say something nice and mean it. It means so much to the person, and they can tell. You know, if you go out of your way to give someone a compliment, they notice, they feel better. It automatically just gives me a smile to hear something, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. Like
And it takes so
random
little.
positive comments. Yeah, I think we used to do that anyway. Like when we started out, we'd just go up like, let's just say a bunch of nice things to people. Like just go around like, I really like your costume. I do that anyway, just to, Even if I don't know who they are, I'm just like, I really love your dress. Like, you just
Yeah.
look wonderful. And
Sorry.
I found one of the best ways to make myself feel better. If I'm feeling really crappy about myself, even online, I'll just be like, man, I hate how I look. Time to open up Instagram and tell people how fabulous they look.
Yes.
And it makes me feel really good. It does. And so, like, at first you'll go into it thinking like you're feeling pathetic and like, yeah, the only way for me to feel better is to like compliment other people. But by the end, you feel great because you made all those people feel wonderful.
Even for
and
just
so
a minute.
it's something that I'd highly recommend. Yeah, and honestly, on the note of I know that we've been told that Barney told us when we were 6. For those of us who watched Barney, because now I aged myself. But one of the biggest things is when we say that those people who tear you down have the lowest self-esteem, it's true because a lot of times you'll hear them say, well, I look XYZ and I wouldn't do it. And the best way I've ever shut that down in the most positive way is say, well, you should. I think you'd look great as that. They have nothing to say to that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it changes their mind and it changes their lives. So if you ever do have someone say like, well, I'm overweight and I wouldn't cosplay that, just say, oh, I wish you would. I can tell you love the character. I think you'd look fantastic. They don't know what to say to that. And you feel good and then maybe they feel good. So I would recommend that.
So,
Selfies.
Okay, I got these ribbons. Oh, wait, do you have
I was
something
there.
to say?
I think we have some ribbons for you guys. And it kind of comes in with what we were just saying of finding 3 things you love about yourself. And one of the best ways to do this is some advice I got from Sadie over there, was try and take a selfie. Because when you're taking a selfie, you always look better through the lens of a selfie.
Yeah, so you can control how you look.
So take as many selfies as you need to feel good, and then also.
And there's no shame in that.
So the challenge I'm giving everyone here is take more selfies, and to compliment others.
Also post those selfies. I will never be sick of seeing selfies.
We love those selfies.
Can we get a group selfie?
Yeah, so
so-
this is one thing I not to jump in, but so we have these ribbons and they say love your selfie. And they are in like Instagram colors. We want to get a selfie with all of you, and then we have so many extra ribbons that what I'd like to challenge people to do is to take a selfie with someone out there on the floor and give them a ribbon.
Oh, that's cool.
And so we're gonna spread this, all right? We're gonna do that.
Let's do.
Do you guys want to have, because I think we have to clear the room, but do you guys want to take people outside to do a selfie?
Yeah, let's
and
go
then
do a
we'll
So,
tidy up
we'll
the.
do some selfies.
All right, thank you guys
Thank
so
you
much
guys
for
so much.
coming.
We love you.